Brianna needed the money. A wedding photography job at a vineyard for $15,000. She took it without asking questions. She brought her twins since she had no babysitter. As she set up her camera at the altar, she heard the music start. She looked up. Her camera nearly fell. The groom walking down the aisle was Marcus Chen, the man who had vanished from her life 6 years ago. Before she could hide, her twins ran toward the beautiful vineyard flowers. "Mommy, look!" Marcus froze mid-step. 2 children, with his eyes, his dimples, his smile. The bride screamed, "What is happening?" Marcus looked at Brianna with tears forming. I have children? But before we dive into the full story, let me know where you're watching from and what time it is. Now, subscribe to the channel and let's get started. "Mommy, why do we eat cereal for dinner again?" Brianna Foster looked at her 5-year-old son Caleb sitting at the small kitchen table. His dark eyes watched her with curiosity, not complaint. She poured milk into 2 bowls and forced a smile. "Because cereal is fun," she said. "Right, Maya?" Her daughter Maya nodded while swinging her legs under the chair. "I like cereal." Brianna sat down with them. She had no bowl for herself. She drank black coffee instead. The twins ate their cereal happily. They did not know this was the 3rd time this week they had cereal for dinner. They did not know their mother skipped meals so they could eat better food at breakfast and lunch. They were 5 years old. They should not have to know these things. After dinner, Brianna washed the dishes in the small sink. The apartment was tiny. 1 bedroom for the twins with bunk beds. 1 bedroom for Brianna with a mattress on the floor. A living room that also served as her photography studio. A kitchen barely big enough for 3 people. The rent was $1,200 every month. Some months Brianna had that money. Some months she did not. "Time for bed," Brianna called out. Caleb and Maya ran to their room. Brianna helped them brush their teeth. She read them a story about a princess and a dragon. Maya fell asleep first. Caleb fought to keep his eyes open but lost the battle. Brianna kissed both their foreheads. She turned off the light and closed the door quietly. She walked back to the living room and sat at her desk. Her laptop was old and slow. She waited for it to turn on. On the table next to the laptop sat a stack of bills. Electric bill, water bill, internet bill, car insurance. Brianna picked up each one and looked at the numbers. She opened her phone and checked her bank account. $312. That was all she had until her next client paid her. Brianna worked as a freelance photographer. She took pictures of families, babies, and small birthday parties. She charged low prices because she needed the work. Last week, she photographed a family of 4 at Lake Merritt in Oakland. She spent 3 hours with them. She edited 50 photos. They paid her $200. It was not enough. It was never enough. She opened her email to check for new messages. Most of the emails were spam. One email caught her attention. The subject line said, "Wedding photography inquiry high budget." Brianna clicked on the email. Her heart started beating faster as she read. Asterisk. Dear Miss Foster, my name is Alexandra Kemp. I am a wedding coordinator for high-profile clients in the San Francisco Bay Area. I came across your portfolio online, and I am impressed with your work. I have a client who is looking for a photographer for a luxury wedding. The event will take place at Chen Estate Vineyard in Napa Valley in 2 weeks. The wedding will have 300 guests. We need someone who can capture both formal portraits and candid moments. The payment for this job is $15,000. This includes the ceremony, reception, and edited photos delivered within 2 weeks after the event. Please let me know if you are available and interested. Best regards, Alexandra Kemp, asterisk. Brianna read the email 3 times. $15,000. She had never seen that much money in one place. With $15,000, she could pay rent for 6 months. She could buy winter coats for Caleb and Maya. She could fix her car that made strange noises every time she drove. She could buy groceries without checking prices. She could breathe. Her hands shook as she typed a response. Asterisk. Dear Miss Kemp, thank you for reaching out. I am very interested in this opportunity. I am available on the date you mentioned. I have experience photographing large events, and I can deliver high-quality edited photos within your timeline. Please let me know the next steps. Best regards, Brianna Foster asterisk. She hit send before she could change her mind. Then she sat back in her chair and stared at the screen. This could change everything. This could give her family stability for the first time in years. Brianna thought about the twins sleeping in the next room. Caleb with his love for soccer and dinosaurs. Maya with her drawings of flowers and rainbows. They were good kids. They never complained. They never asked for expensive toys or new clothes. They were happy with what they had. But Brianna wanted to give them more. She wanted to give them a life where they did not eat cereal for dinner 3 times a week. The next morning, Brianna woke up at 6 o'clock. She made breakfast for the twins. Scrambled eggs and toast. She only drank coffee. Caleb and Maya came to the table, still sleepy. Their curly hair was messy. They both had dark eyes and brown skin. They looked so much alike that strangers always knew immediately they were twins. Today is Wednesday, Maya said. We have art class. I know, Brianna said. I packed your art supplies in your backpack. Caleb ate his eggs quickly. Can we go to the park after school? Maybe, Brianna said. I have to work this afternoon. At 7:30, Brianna walked the twins to their elementary school 6 blocks away. She held both their hands as they crossed the busy streets of Oakland. Cars honked. People rushed to work. Caleb talked about a dinosaur book he was reading. Maya hummed a song she learned in music class. When they reached the school, Brianna kneeled down to their level. Be good today, she said. We will, they said together. She kissed their cheeks and watched them run into the school building. Then she walked back to the apartment alone. The morning air was cold. She pulled her jacket tighter. Her jacket was old and the zipper was broken. She needed a new one, but that was not a priority. Back at the apartment, Brianna sat at her laptop. She had photos to edit from a birthday party she photographed last weekend. A little boy turning 3. His parents paid her $150. She spent 2 hours editing the photos, making the colors brighter, removing shadows, cropping the images. At noon, she checked her email again. There was a response from Alexandra Kemp. Asterisk, Dear Miss Foster. Wonderful. The wedding is scheduled for Saturday, 2 weeks from today, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The ceremony will be outdoors at Chena State Vineyard. The reception will follow in the main hall. We need you to arrive by noon to set up your equipment. The bride and groom will want formal portraits before the ceremony. I will send you a contract today. Once you sign and return it, we will send a deposit of $5,000. The remaining $10,000 will be paid on the day of the event. Looking forward to working with you. Best regards. Alexandra Kemp asterisk. Brianna let out a breath she did not know she was holding. $5,000 as a deposit. That money would arrive before the end of the week. She could pay the electric bill. She could buy real groceries. She could get new shoes for the twins. Their shoes were too small now. Caleb complained that his toes hurt, but Brianna kept telling him to wait a little longer. She signed the contract and sent it back immediately. Then she allowed herself to feel excited. This was the biggest job of her career. This was her chance to prove she could handle high-level work. Maybe this would lead to more luxury weddings. Maybe her business could finally grow. That afternoon, Brianna picked up Caleb and Maya from school at 3 o'clock. They ran to her and hugged her legs. Maya held up a drawing she made in art class. It was a picture of 3 people holding hands. Brianna recognized herself and the twins. "It is beautiful," Brianna said. They walked home together. Caleb found a stick on the sidewalk and pretended it was a sword. Maya skipped ahead singing. When they got home, Brianna made them a snack: apple slices and peanut butter. The twins sat at the table eating while Brianna cleaned the kitchen. "Mommy," Maya said, "can we get a dog?" "Not right now, sweetie," Brianna said. "Why not?" Caleb asked. "Because dogs need a lot of space and we do not have a yard," Brianna explained. "Oh," Caleb said. He did not argue. He never did. That night, after the twins went to bed, Brianna sat on her mattress and looked at the email from Alexandra Kemp one more time. Chen Estate Vineyard, Napa Valley, $15,000. She imagined standing in a beautiful vineyard, photographing a wealthy couple getting married. She imagined 300 guests in expensive clothes. She imagined being part of that world, even if just for one day. Brianna did not know that in 2 weeks, her entire life would fall apart and come back together in ways she could never imagine. She did not know that the wedding would bring her face to face with the man who disappeared 6 years ago. The man she loved. The man who left her pregnant and alone. The father of her children. She did not know that Marcus Chen, the groom, was about to walk back into her life and change everything forever. The deposit arrived in Brianna's bank account 3 days later. $5,000. She checked her phone 4 times to make sure it was real. Then she sat on her couch and cried. Not sad tears. Relief tears. That afternoon, she took Caleb and Maya to the shoe store. They each picked out new sneakers. Caleb chose blue ones with white stripes. Maya chose pink ones with sparkles. On the way home, they stopped at the grocery store. Brianna filled the cart with chicken, vegetables, pasta, fruit, and milk. She did not look at the prices. At the register, the total came to $137. Brianna paid without hesitation. "Why did we buy so much food?" Caleb asked as they walked to the car. "Because I got paid for a big job," Brianna said. "What job?" Maya asked. "I am going to photograph a wedding in 2 weeks." The twins did not understand what that meant, but they were happy because their mother was smiling. Over the next 2 weeks, Brianna prepared for the wedding. She cleaned all her camera lenses. She charged every battery she owned. She bought 2 new memory cards. She studied the layout of Chen Estate Vineyard online. She made lists of shots she needed to capture. The bride walking down the aisle, the first kiss, the reception, the cake cutting. She wanted everything to be perfect. At night, after the twins went to bed, she practiced with her camera. She adjusted settings for outdoor light. She tested different angles. This wedding was her chance to prove herself. She could not mess it up. The day before the wedding, Brianna called her neighbor, Mrs. Patterson. Mrs. Patterson was 72 years old and lived in the apartment next door. She sometimes watched Caleb and Maya when Brianna had jobs that required her to work alone. "Can you watch the twins tomorrow?" Brianna asked. "I will be gone from 11 in the morning until 8 at night." "Of course, dear," Mrs. Patterson said. "Bring them over at 10:30. Brianna felt relief. Everything was falling into place. That night she ironed her black dress. It was the only professional dress she owned. Simple and plain. She laid out her camera bag. She set 3 alarms on her phone for 6 in the morning. She could not be late. Brianna barely slept. She kept waking up, thinking about the wedding. At 6 o'clock, her alarm went off. She got up and made breakfast. The twins came to the table, rubbing their eyes. "Why are you wearing a dress?" Caleb asked. "Because I have to photograph a wedding today," Brianna said. "You two are going to stay with Mrs. Patterson." "All day?" Maya asked. "Yes, sweetie. I will pick you up after dinner." At 10 o'clock, Brianna's phone rang. It was Mrs. Patterson. Brianna's stomach dropped. She knew something was wrong. "Hello?" Brianna answered. "Brianna, dear, I am so sorry." Mrs. Patterson's voice sounded weak. "I woke up this morning with a terrible fever. I think I have the flu. I cannot watch the children today. I do not want to get them sick." Brianna felt panic rise in her chest. "Are you okay? Do you need anything?" "I will be fine. I just need to rest. I am so sorry." "Do not worry. Feel better." Brianna hung up and immediately started calling everyone she knew. She called her mother, Patricia, in Stockton. No answer. She called 2 other mothers from the twins' school. Both were busy. She called a babysitting service. They had no one available on such short notice. It was 10:30. The wedding started at 2 in the afternoon. Chen Estate Vineyard was 90 minutes away. She needed to be there by noon to set up. She had 1 hour to figure this out. Caleb and Maya stood in the doorway watching her. They knew something was wrong. "Mommy, what is happening?" Maya asked. Brianna took a deep breath. She had no choice. She kneeled down in front of the twins. "Mrs. Patterson is sick," Brianna said. "So you two are going to come with me to the wedding." "Really?" Caleb's face lit up. "Yes, but you have to promise me something. You have to be very, very quiet. You have to sit still and not move. This is a very important job. Can you promise me that?" Both twins nodded seriously. "We promise," Maya said. Brianna packed snacks and coloring books in a bag for them. She loaded her camera equipment into her car. At 11 o'clock, they left Oakland. The drive to Napa Valley took 90 minutes. Caleb and Maya sat in the back seat looking out the windows. They had never been to Napa Valley before. "Are there going to be a lot of people?" Caleb asked. "Yes, 300 people," Brianna said. "That is a lot," Maya whispered. They arrived at Chen Estate Vineyard at 12:30. Brianna drove through tall iron gates. The road was lined with grapevines. At the end of the road was a massive stone building surrounded by gardens. White flowers were everywhere. Roses, lilies, and tulips. Brianna had never seen anything so beautiful. She parked her car and got out. Other cars were arriving. Expensive cars, Mercedes, BMWs, Teslas. People stepped out wearing suits and long dresses. Brianna felt out of place in her simple black dress and old car. "Stay close to me," she told the twins. She carried her camera bag and walked toward the ceremony area. A woman in a gray suit approached her. "Are you Brianna Foster?" the woman asked. "Yes." "I am Alexandra Kemp. We spoke over email. You are right on time." Alexandra looked at Caleb and Maya. "Who are they?" "My children. My babysitter got sick this morning. I had no choice." Alexandra frowned. "This is a very high-profile wedding. They cannot be running around." "They will not, I promise. They will sit quietly and not move." Alexandra looked uncertain, but nodded. "Fine. Set up your camera near the altar. The ceremony starts in 90 minutes. Brianna found a spot near the altar with a clear view. She set up her tripod and camera. Then she took Caleb and Maya to a large tree 20 feet away. "You two sit here behind this tree," Brianna said. "You can color in your books. You can eat your snacks. But you cannot leave this spot. Do you understand?" "Yes, Mommy," they said together. Brianna gave them the coloring books and snacks. She kissed their foreheads. Then she returned to her camera. Guests started filling the white chairs. Women wore designer dresses. Men wore tailored suits. Everyone looked wealthy. Brianna raised her camera and took test shots. The lighting was perfect. The flowers were perfect. Everything was perfect. At 2 o'clock, the ceremony began. Classical music played through speakers hidden in the garden. Everyone stood up. Brianna looked through her camera lens and focused on the aisle. The bride appeared. Victoria Whitmore, tall with blonde hair. Her dress was white and covered in crystals that caught the sunlight. She walked slowly down the aisle. Her father held her arm. Brianna took picture after picture. Victoria reached the altar and turned to face forward. She smiled. Then a side door opened. The groom walked out. Brianna adjusted her camera lens to focus on him. Her finger froze on the shutter button. Her breath stopped. The camera nearly fell from her hands. The groom was Marcus Chen, the man she loved 6 years ago. The man who disappeared without explanation. The man whose face she saw every day in her children. The father of Caleb and Maya. Brianna's hands started shaking. She lowered the camera. She stared at Marcus. He looked older. His hair was neat and styled. He wore an expensive black suit. He looked confident and successful. He looked nothing like the man she remembered. That man wore jeans and smiled easily. This man looked like he belonged in magazines. Brianna's vision blurred. Tears filled her eyes. She could not breathe. Her chest felt tight. She wanted to run. She wanted to scream. But she stood frozen. Marcus walked to the altar and stood across from Victoria. The officiant began speaking. Brianna could not hear the words. Her ears were ringing. This could not be happening. This could not be real. Then she heard small voices. Caleb and Maya. She turned her head. The twins had gotten bored sitting behind the tree. They saw the white flowers near the altar. Maya loved flowers. She was walking toward them. Caleb followed his sister. "No," Brianna whispered. But her voice made no sound. The twins walked past the first row of guests. People turned to look. Caleb and Maya reached the altar and stopped at the flowers. 300 people stared at them. Marcus heard the commotion. He turned his head. He saw 2 children, a boy and a girl, 5 years old. They had dark curly hair, brown skin, dark eyes. The boy had a birthmark on his left hand. Marcus looked at his own left hand, the same birthmark in the same place. His mouth opened. His face went pale. He looked at the girl. She had dimples when she smiled. Marcus had dimples. He looked back at the boy. The boy had his exact eyes, his exact nose. These were not random children. These children had his face. Marcus looked up desperately. His eyes scanned the crowd. Then he saw her. Brianna, standing behind a camera. Tears running down her face. Their eyes met across the vineyard. Marcus understood. These were his children. Time stopped. 300 people sat in complete silence. The only sound was the wind moving through the grapevines. Marcus stood at the altar, staring at the 2 children. Caleb held Maya's hand. They looked scared. All the adults were watching them. Victoria turned to Marcus. Her face was red. "What is happening?" she asked. Her voice was sharp. "Who are these children?" Marcus did not answer. He could not speak. He took a step toward Caleb and Maya, then another step. He walked away from Victoria. He walked away from the officiant. He walked toward the twins. "Marcus!" Victoria shouted. "Answer me!" Marcus did not stop. He reached Caleb and Maya. He kneeled down slowly so his face was level with theirs. Up close, he could see everything. The shape of their eyes, the curve of their noses. The way Caleb's ears stuck out slightly. Marcus's ears did the same thing. Maya had a small freckle under her left eye. Marcus had the same freckle in the same place. "What are your names?" Marcus asked softly. Caleb looked at his mother. Brianna stood frozen behind her camera. She could not move. She could not speak. "My name is Caleb," the boy said quietly. "This is my sister, Maya." "How old are you?" Marcus asked. His voice shook. "We are 5, Caleb said. Marcus closed his eyes. 5 years old. 6 years ago, he was with Brianna. The math was clear. These were his children. He had children. He was a father. And he never knew. "Marcus Chen, what is going on?" Victoria screamed. She walked toward him. Her dress dragged on the grass. "Look at me!" Marcus opened his eyes. He stood up and turned to face Victoria. She stopped 3 feet away from him. Her perfect makeup was ruined. Tears ran down her face, leaving black lines. "I am sorry," Marcus said. "Sorry? Sorry for what?" Victoria's voice got louder. "Who are these children?" Marcus looked at Brianna. "They are mine." The guests gasped. People started whispering. Victoria's mouth opened. She stared at Marcus. Then she looked at Brianna. Then at the twins. "Yours?" Victoria repeated. "You have children? You told me you did not have children." "I did not know," Marcus said. "You did not know?" Victoria laughed, but it sounded painful. "How do you not know you have children?" "I did not know she was pregnant." Victoria looked at Brianna with hate in her eyes. You did this. You brought them here on purpose." Brianna finally found her voice. "I did not know you were the groom. I was hired to photograph a wedding. That is all." "Liar!" Victoria screamed. She picked up her bouquet and threw it at Marcus. It hit his chest and fell to the ground. "You are both liars!" Victoria's father stood up from his seat in the front row. He was a large man in an expensive gray suit. "Chen, you will answer for this humiliation." His voice was cold and threatening. Victoria's 2 brothers stood up next. They were both tall with angry faces. "This is unacceptable," one of them said. Guests pulled out their phones. They started taking pictures and videos. The camera flashes went off everywhere. Marcus looked around and saw everyone recording. This would be on the internet within minutes. Marcus turned back to Victoria. "I cannot marry you." Victoria froze. "What?" "I am canceling the wedding." "You cannot cancel the wedding!" Victoria shouted. "There are 300 people here." "I am sorry. I cannot do this." Victoria's mother stood up from her seat. She was a thin woman with white hair. She put her hand on her chest, and her eyes rolled back. She fainted. 2 guests caught her before she hit the ground. "Mother!" Victoria screamed. She ran to her mother. Her bridesmaids ran after her. People crowded around, trying to help. Victoria's father pointed at Marcus. "You will pay for this. My lawyers will destroy you." Marcus said nothing. He turned back to Caleb and Maya. They were crying now. Too many people were yelling. Too much chaos. Brianna ran to them. She grabbed both their hands. "We are leaving," Brianna said. She pulled the twins toward the parking area. "Wait," Marcus called. "Please, wait." Brianna did not stop. She walked faster. Marcus followed her. "Brianna, please. We need to talk." She turned around. Her face was wet with tears. "Stay away from me. I did not know. I swear, I did not know about them." "You had 6 years to find me," Brianna said. Her voice shook with anger. 6 years. You are rich. You are powerful. You could have found me if you wanted." "I tried. I did try. I do not believe you. Please, just let me explain." "No." Brianna turned away. She put Caleb and Maya in the back seat of her car. She got in the driver's seat. Marcus stood in the parking lot watching her drive away. Behind him, the vineyard was chaos. Guests were leaving. Victoria was sobbing in her mother's arms. The bridesmaids surrounded her. Victoria's father was on the phone with someone, probably his lawyer. Photographers from outside the vineyard gates heard the noise and came running. They pushed through the crowd taking pictures. Alexandra Kemp, the wedding coordinator, approached Marcus. "Mr. Chen, what would you like me to do?" "Cancel everything," Marcus said quietly. "Send everyone home." "And the payment for the photographer?" Marcus reached into his jacket pocket. He pulled out an envelope. It had $10,000 in cash. The final payment for Brianna. He handed it to Alexandra. "Make sure she gets this." Alexandra took the envelope and walked away. Marcus stood alone. Guests walked past him whispering. Some glared at him. Some looked at him with pity. He did not care. He could only think about Caleb and Maya, his children. He had missed 5 years of their lives. 5 years of birthdays and first days of school and bedtime stories. 5 years he could never get back. Reporters reached him. They shoved microphones in his face. "Mr. Chen, did you know about the children?" one asked. "Mr. Chen, were you cheating on Miss Whitmore?" another asked. Marcus pushed through them. He walked to his car. His hands shook as he tried to unlock the door. He got inside and sat in silence. Then he put his head on the steering wheel and cried. By evening, the story was everywhere. On the news, on social media, on gossip websites. Someone had recorded the whole scene. The video showed Caleb and Maya walking to the altar. It showed Marcus's face when he saw them. It showed Victoria throwing the bouquet. It showed Brianna crying. The headlines were brutal. Billionaire groom cancels wedding after secret children appear. Wedding photographer exposes groom's hidden family. Victoria Whitmore, humiliated at her own wedding. Brianna sat in her dark apartment. The lights were off. Caleb and Maya were in their bedroom. They had asked many questions on the drive home. Who was that man? Why did he look at them like that? Why was everyone yelling? Brianna told them the man was no one important. She told them everything was fine. But the twins knew she was lying. Brianna opened her laptop. Her email was full of messages. She scrolled through them. Most were from reporters asking for interviews. 3 emails made her stomach drop. 3 clients had canceled their photography bookings. They did not want to be associated with her. They called her unprofessional. One client called her a home wrecker. Brianna's phone buzzed. A text message from her mother, Patricia. "I saw the news. Call me." Brianna turned off her phone. She could not talk to anyone. She walked to her bathroom and looked at herself in the mirror. Her eyes were swollen from crying. Her makeup was ruined. She looked like a stranger. There was a knock on her door. Brianna's heart jumped. She walked slowly to the door and looked through the peephole. Marcus stood in the hallway. He wore the same suit from the wedding. He looked exhausted. Brianna opened the door, but stood in the doorway, blocking him. "What are you doing here?" "I need to talk to you," Marcus said. "Go away. Please, you deserve to know what happened. Caleb and Maya deserve to know the truth." "The truth?" Brianna laughed, but there was no humor in it. "The truth is you left me. The truth is I raised them alone for 5 years. The truth is you moved on and got engaged to someone else. That is the truth." "That is not the whole truth," Marcus said. "Please, just give me 10 minutes. If you still want me to leave after that, I will leave and never come back." Brianna looked at him. Part of her wanted to slam the door in his face, but another part of her needed answers. She needed to know why he disappeared. She stepped aside and let him in. Marcus stepped into the small apartment. He looked around. The living room was tiny. A desk with a laptop sat in the corner. Camera equipment was stacked against the wall. A small couch faced an old television. This was where Brianna lived. This was where his children lived. The difference between this apartment and his mansion in San Francisco made him feel sick. "Sit down," Brianna said. She pointed to the couch. "You have 10 minutes." Marcus sat. Brianna remained standing with her arms crossed. She wanted to keep distance between them. "Where are Caleb and Maya?" Marcus asked. "In their room. They are scared and confused. Because of you." Marcus looked down at his hands. 6 years ago, I received a phone call at midnight. It was from Singapore. My father had a massive stroke. The doctors said he might die. I had to get on a plane immediately. Brianna said nothing. She just watched him. "I tried to call you from the airport, but my phone was dying. I thought I would call you from Singapore. On the plane, I dropped my phone. The screen shattered completely. It would not turn on." "You could have bought a new phone?" Brianna said. "I did, but I did not have your number memorized. It was saved in my broken phone. When I got to Singapore, my father was in a coma. I stayed at the hospital for 2 weeks. I used my father's phone to call your number. A recording said the number was disconnected." Brianna remembered. She had to disconnect her phone 6 months after Marcus left. She could not afford the bill. "I tried to email you," Marcus continued, "but the emails bounced back. The address was not working." "I had to close that email account," Brianna said quietly. "I was getting spam, and I could not pay for the service." Marcus nodded. "After 2 weeks, my father woke up, but he could not speak. He could not move his right side. The doctors said he would never fully recover. I had to take over the family business immediately. I stayed in Singapore for 4 months, managing everything." 4 months, Brianna repeated. "I found out I was pregnant 3 weeks after you left. I waited for you to come back. I waited and waited. You never came. When I finally returned to California, I went straight to your apartment. The landlord said you moved out 3 months earlier. He had no forwarding address." Brianna sat down on the other end of the couch. "My landlord raised the rent. I could not afford it. I had to find a cheaper place." Marcus reached into his jacket and pulled out his phone. He opened his email and handed the phone to Brianna. "Look at the sent folder. Go back 6 years." Brianna took the phone. She scrolled through his emails. There were dozens of messages sent to her old email address. All of them bounced back. The messages said things like, "Please call me," and "I need to talk to you," and "Where are you?" "I hired private investigators," Marcus said. "I paid them $50,000 to find you. They searched for 2 years. 2 years? They found 12 women in California named Brianna Foster. None of them were you. They checked San Francisco, Oakland, Berkeley, Sacramento. They went to the art gallery where we met. No one remembered you. They checked every photography business in the Bay Area. You were not registered anywhere." Brianna handed the phone back. "I was working under the table. Cash only. I could not afford to register a business. The investigators told me if someone does not want to be found, they cannot be found. I thought you left me on purpose. I thought you did not want me anymore." Brianna felt tears coming. She tried to hold them back. "I thought you abandoned me. I thought you used me and left." "Never," Marcus said. His voice broke. "I loved you. I never stopped loving you. You were getting married today." Marcus looked away. "I was trying to move on. Victoria pursued me for 2 years. I said yes because I was tired of being alone. But I did not love her. Not the way I loved you." Brianna wiped her eyes. "Why did you not try harder to find me?" "I did try. For 2 years, I tried. Then my investigators said to stop. They said I was wasting money. They said you clearly did not want to be found. I gave up. I should not have given up. That was my mistake." They sat in silence. The only sound was the refrigerator humming in the kitchen. "If I had known you were pregnant," Marcus said, "nothing would have kept me away. Not my father, not the business, nothing. I would have been there." Brianna believed him. She could see the pain in his face. She could hear the truth in his voice. 6 years of anger started to crack. Underneath the anger was the hurt. Underneath the hurt was the love she tried so hard to bury. "I was so scared," Brianna whispered. "I was 22 years old and pregnant with twins. I had no money, no family support. I did not know what to do." "I am so sorry," Marcus said. "I am sorry you went through that alone." Brianna started crying. Not quiet tears, deep, painful sobs. 6 years of holding everything inside came pouring out. Marcus moved closer. He put his hand on her shoulder. Brianna did not pull away. "I see you every day in them," Brianna said through her tears. "Caleb has your eyes. Maya has your smile. Every time I look at them, I think about you. I tried to hate you, but I could not hate the man who gave me them." Marcus was crying now too. "Can I meet them properly? Can I be part of their lives?" Brianna pulled away and wiped her face. "I do not know. Please, they deserve to know their father. I know I do not deserve a second chance, but they deserve to have me in their lives." Brianna stood up and walked to the window. She looked out at the street below. Cars drove past. People walked their dogs. Life continued like nothing had changed. But everything had changed. "If you meet them," Brianna said slowly, "there will be rules." "Anything," Marcus said. "You can visit twice a week. That is all. You cannot make any big decisions about them without my permission. You cannot buy them expensive gifts to win their love. You cannot confuse them, and you cannot make promises you will not keep. If you are going to be their father, you have to show up. Every time. No matter what." "I will show up," Marcus said. "I promise." "Do not make promises yet. Just show me. Prove it." Marcus nodded. "When can I see them?" "Not tonight. They are already upset. Come back on Wednesday at 4 in the afternoon. I will introduce you properly." "Wednesday," Marcus repeated. "I will be here." Marcus stood up and walked to the door. He stopped and turned back to Brianna. "Thank you for giving me this chance." After he left, Brianna went to check on their twins. She opened their bedroom door quietly. Caleb and Maya were both asleep in their bunk beds. Maya held her favorite stuffed bear. Caleb's dinosaur book lay open on his chest. Brianna walked over and closed the book. She kissed both their foreheads. "Your father is coming back," she whispered. "I hope I am making the right choice." The next morning, Brianna woke up to someone knocking on her door. She looked at her phone. It was 8 in the morning. The twins were still sleeping. She put on her robe and walked to the door. A man in a suit stood in the hallway. "Brianna Foster?" "Yes?" "You have been served." He handed her a large envelope and walked away. Brianna closed the door. She opened the envelope with shaking hands. Inside were legal documents. The letterhead said, "Whitmore Associates Law Firm." She read the first page. Victoria Whitmore and her family were suing Brianna for $5 million. The lawsuit claimed Brianna intentionally disrupted the wedding to extort money from Marcus Chen. It claimed she caused severe emotional distress to Victoria and damaged the Whitmore family reputation. It demanded financial compensation and a public apology. Brianna sat down on the floor. $5 million. She did not have $500. How could she fight this? She needed a lawyer. Lawyers were expensive. She would lose everything. Her phone buzzed, a text from a number she did not recognize. She opened it. "This is Marcus. I heard about the lawsuit. I will pay for your lawyers. I will handle this." Brianna typed back quickly. "No, I do not need your money. I will handle it myself. This is my fault. Let me help." "No." Brianna turned off her phone. She sat on the floor, holding the legal papers. Her life was falling apart. Yesterday, she thought the worst thing that could happen was seeing Marcus again. Now she was being sued for $5 million. She put her head in her hands and tried not to scream. Brianna spent 2 days trying to find a lawyer she could afford. She called 8 different law offices in Oakland. The cheapest lawyer wanted $5,000 just to start. Brianna had $3,000 in her bank account. That money was supposed to pay rent and buy groceries for 2 months. On Tuesday morning, she received 3 more emails. 3 more photography clients canceled their bookings. One email said, "We cannot work with someone involved in such a public scandal." Another said, "We need someone more professional." The third email just said, "No, thank you." Brianna's business was dying. The viral video from the wedding had been viewed 2 million times. People left comments calling her terrible names. They said she was a gold digger. They said she trapped a rich man. They said she ruined an innocent woman's wedding. Nobody knew the truth. Nobody cared about the truth. Wednesday afternoon arrived. At 3:30, Brianna sat Caleb and Maya down at the kitchen table. They looked at her with curious faces. "Do you remember the man at the wedding?" Brianna asked. "The man who talked to you? The one with the same mark as me?" Caleb held up his left hand, showing his birthmark. "Yes, that man's name is Marcus. He is going to visit us today." "Why?" Maya asked. Brianna took a deep breath. "Because Marcus is your father." Both twins stared at her. The apartment was completely silent. "We have a daddy?" Caleb finally asked. "Yes." "Where was he?" Maya's voice was small. "He was far away. He did not know about you. But now he knows, and he wants to meet you." "Does he want to be our daddy?" Caleb asked. "I think so, but we have to see. We have to get to know him first." At exactly 4 o'clock, someone knocked on the door. Brianna opened it. Marcus stood in the hallway. He was not wearing a suit today. He wore jeans and a plain blue shirt. He looked nervous. He held 2 small wrapped boxes. "I know you said no expensive gifts," Marcus said quickly. "These are just coloring books. Nothing expensive." Brianna stepped aside. Marcus entered the apartment. Caleb and Maya sat on the couch watching him. Marcus walked over slowly and sat on the floor in front of them. He wanted to be at their level, not looking down at them. "Hi, Caleb. Hi, Maya," Marcus said softly. "My name is Marcus." "Hi," Caleb said. Maya said nothing. She hid slightly behind her brother. Marcus held out the 2 boxes. "I brought these for you." Caleb took one box and opened it. Inside was a coloring book with dinosaurs on every page. His face lit up. "Dinosaurs!" Maya slowly took the other box. Inside was a coloring book with flowers and butterflies. She smiled a little bit. "Do you like dinosaurs?" Marcus asked Caleb. "Yes, my favorite is the Tyrannosaurus Rex. It is the biggest." "Mine too," Marcus said. "Did you know some scientists think the Tyrannosaurus Rex had feathers?" "Really?" Caleb's eyes went wide. "Yes, maybe they looked more like giant chickens." Caleb laughed. It was the first time Marcus heard his son laugh. The sound made his chest hurt in a good way. Maya held up her coloring book. "Can you draw?" "I can try," Marcus said, "but I am not very good." "That is okay. I can teach you." Maya got her crayons from the bedroom. She and Marcus sat on the floor coloring. Marcus tried to color a flower, but he went outside the lines. Maya giggled. "You have to go slow," she said. Brianna watched from the kitchen. She saw how gentle Marcus was with them, how patient. He was not trying too hard. He was just being present. After an hour, Marcus stood up. "I should go, but can I come back and visit again?" "Yes," Caleb said immediately. "Can you come back tomorrow?" "How about Friday?" Marcus looked at Brianna. She nodded. "Okay, Friday," Caleb said. After Marcus left, Maya climbed onto the couch next to Brianna. "I like him." "Me too," Caleb said. "Is he going to live with us?" "No, sweetie. He has his own house, but he will visit." Over the next 3 weeks, Marcus came to visit every Wednesday and Friday at 4 o'clock. He was never late, not even by 1 minute. He brought simple things: a soccer ball for Caleb, art supplies for Maya. He played with them on the floor. He asked them about school. He helped with homework. He watched them carefully, learning everything about them. On his 6th visit, Marcus asked Brianna if he could take Caleb to soccer practice at the park. Brianna hesitated. "I will stay with you," she said. "I want to watch." At the park, other parents stared at Marcus. They recognized him from the news. They whispered and pointed. Marcus ignored them. He kicked the soccer ball with Caleb. He showed him how to pass, how to aim. Caleb was not very good, but he tried hard. Marcus cheered for every kick. "You are getting better," Marcus said. "Keep practicing." One evening after the twins went to bed, Marcus stayed to talk with Brianna. They sat in the kitchen drinking tea. "The lawsuit is still happening," Brianna said. "I found a lawyer, but he is expensive. I had to use all my savings." "Let me pay for it," Marcus said. "Please." "No, Brianna, this lawsuit exists because of me. It is my responsibility. I do not want your money. I need to do this myself." "Why? Why does it have to be yourself?" "Because I have done everything myself for 6 years. Brianna's voice got loud. Then she caught herself. She did not want to wake the twins. She spoke quieter. "I raised them alone. I paid every bill alone. I handled every problem alone. I do not know how to accept help." "You do not have to do everything alone anymore," Marcus said gently. "I am here. Let me help." They argued for 20 minutes. Their voices got louder. In the bedroom, Caleb and Maya woke up. They heard their mother and Marcus yelling. Maya started crying. Caleb held her hand. Brianna heard Maya crying. She stopped talking immediately. She went to the bedroom. Both twins were sitting up in their beds with tears on their faces. "Why are you fighting?" Maya asked. "We are not fighting, sweetie. We are just talking." "You were yelling," Caleb said. "Are you mad at Marcus?" Brianna sat on Maya's bed. "No, I am not mad. Sometimes adults disagree. But everything is okay." Marcus appeared in the doorway. He saw the twins crying and his heart broke. "I am sorry. I did not mean to upset you." "Are you leaving?" Maya asked him. "Like before?" "No," Marcus said firmly. "I am not leaving. I promise I am not leaving." After Brianna calmed the twins down, she and Marcus went back to the kitchen. They sat in silence for a minute. "We need help," Brianna finally said. "We do not know how to do this. We keep fighting in front of them." "What kind of help?" "A counselor, someone who helps families." Marcus nodded. "I will find someone good." 2 days later, Marcus called Brianna. "I found a family counselor. Her name is Dr. Linda Hayes. She has an office in San Francisco. She specializes in co-parenting. Can you meet with her this Saturday?" "What about the twins?" "Just us first. She wants to talk to us without them." On Saturday morning, Marcus picked up Brianna. They drove to San Francisco together. Dr. Hayes's office was in a tall building downtown. The waiting room had comfortable chairs and plants. Dr. Hayes came out to greet them. She was a woman in her 50s with kind eyes and gray hair. "Come in," she said. They sat on a couch in her office. Dr. Hayes sat across from them with a notepad. "Tell me why you're here," Dr. Hayes said. Brianna and Marcus took turns explaining. The 6 years apart, finding each other again. The twins, the fighting. Dr. Hayes listened without interrupting. "What do you both want?" Dr. Hayes asked. "I want to be a good father," Marcus said. "I want to be part of their lives." "I want that too," Brianna said. "But I am scared. I am scared he will leave again. I am scared of trusting him." "That fear is normal," Dr. Hayes said. "You were hurt. Trust takes time to rebuild. Marcus, what are you willing to do to earn that trust?" "Anything," Marcus said. Dr. Hayes helped them create a plan. Marcus would continue visiting twice a week. They would have weekly check-ins with Dr. Hayes for the next 3 months. They would communicate through text about the twins' schedule. They would not argue in front of the children. If they disagreed, they would wait and discuss it later, in private. After the session, Marcus drove Brianna back to Oakland. She felt lighter. Someone was helping them. They were not alone in this. "Thank you," Brianna said as they reached her apartment, "for finding Dr. Hayes." "Of course." Marcus started to leave. Then his phone rang. He looked at the screen and his face changed. "It is my mother. I need to take this." He answered, "Hello?" Brianna could hear a woman's voice on the other end, angry and loud. Marcus's jaw tightened. "Mother, I am not discussing this right now." More yelling. "No, I will not do that." Marcus hung up. He looked stressed. "What did she want?" Brianna asked. "She wants to meet you, and the twins, tomorrow." "Why?" Marcus hesitated. "She does not believe they are mine. She wants a DNA test." Brianna felt her face get hot. "She thinks I am lying?" "My mother does not trust easily," Marcus said. "She thinks everyone wants our family's money." "I do not want your money. I never wanted your money." "I know that, but she does not know you." Brianna crossed her arms. "Fine, we will do the test. Then she will see the truth." "Are you sure?" Marcus asked. "Yes, I have nothing to hide. Caleb and Maya are your children. Science will prove it." The DNA test was scheduled for Tuesday afternoon at a medical clinic in San Francisco. Marcus drove Brianna and the twins to the appointment. Caleb and Maya did not understand what was happening. They thought they were going to a regular doctor. A nurse took them to a small room. She used cotton swabs to collect samples from inside their cheeks. It did not hurt. The whole process took 5 minutes. The nurse said results would come back in 2 weeks. Helen Chen did not come to the appointment. She sent her lawyer instead, a tall man in an expensive suit who said nothing. He just watched and took notes. On the drive back to Oakland, Maya asked, "Why did we go to the doctor? Are we sick?" "No, sweetie," Brianna said. "The doctor just needed to check something." 2 weeks passed. Marcus continued his visits every Wednesday and Friday. He was there at exactly 4 o'clock every time. He played dinosaurs with Caleb. He colored with Maya. He read them bedtime stories. The twins started calling him Marcus instead of the man or him. It was progress. On Friday afternoon, Marcus received a phone call. The DNA results were ready. He drove to pick up the envelope from the clinic. Then he went straight to Brianna's apartment. "The results are here," Marcus said when she opened the door. They sat on the couch. The twins were at school. Marcus opened the envelope with shaking hands. He pulled out the paper and read it. Then he handed it to Brianna. The results were clear. Marcus Chen was the biological father of Caleb Foster and Maya Foster. Probability of paternity, 99.9%. There it is, Brianna said quietly. Proof. Marcus stared at the paper. Seeing it in writing made it more real. He was a father, officially, scientifically, legally. I will send this to my mother, Marcus said. She will have to accept it now. But Helen Chen did not accept it. The next day she called Marcus. Brianna could hear her yelling through the phone. The test does not change anything, Helen said. That woman trapped you. She probably knew who you were 6 years ago. She probably planned this. Mother, that is not true. You are throwing your life away for some poor woman and her children. They are my children too. You have responsibilities. You have the business. You have our family name to protect. I am protecting my family. Caleb and Maya are my family. Helen hung up on him. Marcus sat with his head in his hands. Brianna sat next to him on the couch. She will never accept us, Brianna said. She will. She just needs time. Over the next month, Marcus made a decision. He could not keep living in his mansion in San Francisco and driving 90 minutes to Oakland twice a week. He wanted to be closer to his children. He wanted to see them more than twice a week. He started looking at houses in Oakland. Not mansions, just normal houses. 3 bedrooms, a backyard, close to Caleb and Maya's school. On a Tuesday afternoon, Marcus found the perfect house. It was 10 minutes from Brianna's apartment. The house was small, but it had a nice yard with trees. It needed work, but it had good bones. Marcus bought the house that same day. He called Brianna immediately. I bought a house in Oakland, he said. What? I am moving. I want to be close to the twins. I want to pick them up from school. I want to have dinner with them. I cannot do that from San Francisco. Brianna did not know what to say. Marcus was changing his entire life. For them. When Marcus told his business partners about the move, they thought he was making a mistake. They said he needed to live in San Francisco to run the company properly. Marcus said he would work from home 3 days a week. They said it would not work. Marcus said he would make it work. When Helen Chen heard about the house, she stopped speaking to Marcus. She would not answer his calls. She sent him one text message. You are destroying everything your father built. Marcus moved into the Oakland house the following week. He did not bring much from his mansion, just his clothes and a bed. The house felt empty, but it felt right. On his first day in the new house, Marcus invited Brianna and the twins over. Caleb and Maya ran through the empty rooms. This is so big, Caleb shouted. Can we come here? Maya asked. Yes, Marcus said. I am going to set up bedrooms for you, so you can stay here sometimes. The twins looked at Brianna. Can we, Mommy? Brianna nodded. Yes, but not yet. We have to go slow. Over the next weeks, Marcus picked up Caleb and Maya from school twice a week. The other parents stared at him. They whispered. He heard one mother say, That is the man from the viral video. Marcus ignored them. He held Caleb and Maya's hands and walked them to his car. Marcus tried to cook dinner for the twins. He had never cooked before. He had chefs at his mansion. But now he wanted to learn. He tried to make spaghetti. He burned the pasta. It stuck to the bottom of the pot. The kitchen filled with smoke. Caleb and Maya laughed. It is all black, Caleb said. I know, Marcus said. I am not good at cooking. We can teach you, Maya said. Mommy taught us. They made sandwiches instead. Peanut butter and jelly. Simple but good. On Saturday morning, Marcus took Caleb, Maya, and Brianna to the Oakland Zoo. They walked around looking at animals. Caleb loved the lions. He stood at the glass watching them for 20 minutes. They are so big, Caleb said. I want to be strong like them. You are strong, Marcus said. You just have to grow. Maya loved the butterfly exhibit. Butterflies landed on her hand. She stayed very still so she would not scare them. Marcus took pictures with his phone. For lunch, they sat at a picnic table eating hot dogs. Caleb and Maya told jokes. Marcus laughed. Brianna watched him. He looked happy, relaxed, not like the serious man in the suit from the wedding. This was the real Marcus, the one she fell in love with 6 years ago. Their eyes met across the table. Something passed between them. Not words, just understanding. They were building something, slowly, carefully. After the zoo, they drove back to Oakland. The twins fell asleep in the back seat. Marcus glanced at Brianna. "Thank you for today," he said quietly. "You are good with them," Brianna said. "I did not expect that." "What did you expect?" "I do not know. I thought rich men did not know how to be fathers. But you are trying. I see you trying." Meanwhile, Brianna's legal problems continued. Her lawyer told her the lawsuit from Victoria's family was weak, but it would take months to dismiss. The legal fees were adding up, $3,000 so far. Brianna's savings were gone. She lost 2 more photography clients. People did not want to hire her. The viral video had destroyed her reputation. She had trouble paying rent. She had trouble buying groceries. One evening, Marcus came to the apartment and noticed Brianna looked thinner. "Are you eating enough?" he asked. "I am fine." Marcus opened her refrigerator. It was almost empty. Some milk, some bread, eggs. That was all. "This is not fine," Marcus said. "I said I am fine." The next day, Marcus showed up with bags of groceries. Chicken, vegetables, rice, pasta, fruit, cereal. He filled her refrigerator and cabinets. Brianna wanted to refuse. She wanted to tell him to take it all back. But she was too tired, too hungry. She accepted. "Thank you," she said quietly. One night after putting the twins to bed, Marcus and Brianna sat in her kitchen. They drank tea and talked. Really talked. Not about the lawsuit or the twins. About themselves. "Do you remember the art gallery?" Brianna asked. "Where we met?" "Of course. You were wearing a yellow dress. You stood in front of a painting for 30 minutes. It was a painting of a woman looking out a window. I loved it. I could not afford to buy it. I went back the next day and bought it," Marcus said. "I still have it." Brianna looked at him surprised. "You bought it?" "I was going to give it to you, but then everything happened." They talked until midnight. About the past. About mistakes. About fear. "I am scared to trust you," Brianna admitted. "What if you leave again?" "I will not leave," Marcus said. "I know you have heard that before, but I am not the same person I was 6 years ago. I know what matters now." Brianna wanted to believe him. Part of her did believe him. But the scared part was louder. The next morning, Brianna opened her apartment door to get the mail. A woman stood in the hallway. Blonde hair, expensive clothes, perfect makeup. Victoria Whitmore. Brianna froze. Victoria stood in front of her wearing a white coat and dark sunglasses, even though it was not sunny inside the building. "What are you doing here?" Brianna asked. Victoria took off her sunglasses. Her eyes were cold. "I wanted to see the woman who destroyed my life." "I did not destroy anything. I did not even know Marcus was the groom." "I do not believe you," Victoria said. "You planned this. You brought those children to my wedding on purpose." "That is not true. You saw an opportunity to trap a rich man. You saw Marcus's name on the contract, and you knew exactly what you were doing." Brianna felt anger rising in her chest. "I needed a babysitter. She got sick. I had no choice but to bring my kids. I did not plan anything." Victoria laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Do you know what you did to me? I cannot go anywhere without people staring. They whisper about me. They call me the girl whose wedding was ruined. My family is humiliated. My mother had to go to therapy because of the stress. I am sorry that happened, but it was not my fault. Yes, it was. You and your children ruined everything. Do not talk about my children, Brianna said. Her voice was quiet but firm. Victoria stepped closer. I will make you pay for what you did. My lawyers will take everything from you. You will lose your apartment, your business, everything. Your lawsuit will fail. I did nothing wrong. We will see about that. Victoria put her sunglasses back on and walked away. Brianna closed the door and leaned against it. Her hands were shaking. She pulled out her phone and texted Marcus. Victoria came to my apartment. She threatened me. Marcus called her immediately. What did she say? Brianna told him everything. Marcus was quiet for a moment. I will talk to my lawyer, Marcus said. She cannot harass you. She is angry. I understand why. That does not give her the right to come to your home. After the call ended, Brianna sat on her couch. The twins were at school. The apartment was quiet. She felt tired. So tired of fighting. Tired of worrying. Tired of struggling. That afternoon, Marcus picked up Caleb and Maya from school. He brought them to his house. Brianna came too. She wanted to see the bedrooms Marcus had set up for the twins. Caleb's room had dinosaur posters on the walls, a bed with blue sheets, a bookshelf filled with books about dinosaurs and soccer. Caleb ran around the room, touching everything. This is mine? He asked. Yes, Marcus said. When you stay here, this is your room. Maya's room had flower wallpaper, a bed with pink and yellow sheets, an art table with papers and crayons and paint. Maya walked to the art table and touched the supplies gently. Can I draw now? She asked. Of course, Marcus said. While Maya drew and Caleb read a dinosaur book, Marcus and Brianna sat in the kitchen. Marcus made tea. He was getting better at simple things, boiling water, making sandwiches, small steps. The house looks good, Brianna said. It is coming together, slowly. Your mother still will not talk to you? Marcus shook his head. She thinks I am making a huge mistake. She wants me to focus on the business and forget about you and the twins. Maybe she is right. Marcus looked at her. What? You had a whole life before us, a successful business, a big house. You were going to get married. Now you are living in Oakland cooking burned pasta. I am happier now than I have been in years, Marcus said. That old life was not mine. It was my father's life. I was just living it because I did not know how to say no. But your family, my family is here. Caleb and Maya and you. Brianna looked away. She did not know what to say. Marcus saying she was family made her feel things she was not ready to feel. The weeks continued. Marcus's routine became solid. He picked up the twins every Tuesday and Thursday after school. They spent the evening at his house. He made dinner, usually simple things: grilled cheese sandwiches, chicken nuggets, spaghetti that was not burned anymore. The twins taught him how to cook. Maya showed him how to crack eggs without getting shells in them. Caleb showed him how much salt to use. Every Saturday, Marcus, Brianna, and the twins did something together. The park, the library, the grocery store. Normal family things. People still stared. But Marcus stopped caring. One Saturday, they went to a soccer field. Marcus had signed Caleb up for a youth soccer league. Caleb wore a red uniform that was too big for him. He was the smallest kid on the team. But he ran fast, and he did not give up. Marcus stood on the sideline cheering. Good job, Caleb! Keep running! Brianna stood next to him. Other parents stood nearby. One father leaned over to another and whispered, "That is the guy from the viral video. I heard the woman trapped him with those kids." Brianna heard them. She felt her face get hot. Marcus put his hand on her shoulder. "Ignore them," he said quietly. After the game, Caleb ran to them. His face was red and sweaty. "Did you see me? I almost scored." "You were amazing," Marcus said. He picked Caleb up and put him on his shoulders. On the drive home, Caleb fell asleep in the back seat. Maya colored in her book. Marcus looked at Brianna. "He is good at soccer," Marcus said. "He practices every day in the park. I could coach his team, if that is okay with you." "You want a coach?" "Yes. I want to be involved in everything." Brianna nodded. "Okay, you can coach." The next week, Marcus attended his first practice as assistant coach. He did not know much about soccer, but he was willing to learn. The head coach was grateful for the help. The kids liked Marcus. He was patient and encouraging. Meanwhile, Brianna's photography business started to recover slowly. She booked 2 new clients. Small jobs, but it was progress. One client found her through word of mouth. The other client did not care about the viral video. They just liked her portfolio. Marcus wanted to invest in her business. He wanted to help her rent a studio space, hire an assistant, buy new equipment. But every time he brought it up, Brianna said no. "I need to rebuild this myself," she told him. "Why does everything have to be by yourself?" "Because that is how I survive." They had this argument multiple times, always at night after the twins were asleep. Their voices got louder. Then one of them would remember the twins and they would stop. Dr. Hayes helped them during their weekly sessions. She taught them how to disagree without fighting. She taught them communication tools. She taught them to say what they needed instead of expecting the other person to guess. "Brianna, why is accepting help so difficult for you?" Dr. Hayes asked during one session. Brianna thought for a moment. "Because help always comes with strings attached. People help you, and then they hold it over your head. They remind you that you needed them." "Has Marcus done that?" Dr. Hayes asked. "No." "Then why do you assume he will?" Brianna had no answer. "Marcus, what do you need from Brianna?" Dr. Hayes asked. "I need her to trust me," Marcus said. "I need her to believe I am not going anywhere." "Brianna, can you give him that?" "I am trying," Brianna said, "but I am scared." Fear is normal, but do not let fear stop you from building something good. One evening, Marcus stayed late at Brianna's apartment. The twins were asleep. They sat on the couch watching an old movie. Not talking, just being together. Brianna rested her head on his shoulder without thinking. Then she realized what she did and started to pull away. Marcus gently put his arm around her. "It is okay." Brianna stayed. She let herself relax. They sat like that until the movie ended. When Marcus got up to leave, they stood at the door. The hallway light made shadows on his face. "I am glad you are here," Brianna said quietly. "Me too." They looked at each other. The moment felt heavy. Marcus leaned forward slightly. Brianna did not move away. Their lips met. The kiss was soft and careful. When they pulled apart, Brianna's eyes were wet. "I am sorry," Marcus said. "I should not have—" "No, it is okay. I just—" Brianna took a breath. "I am not ready. Not yet." "I understand. I will wait." Marcus left. Brianna closed the door and touched her lips. She still felt the kiss. She still felt the spark that never really went away. But feeling something and trusting something were different things. The next week, Marcus received a text from an unknown number. He opened it. The message said, "I need to talk to you. It is urgent. Please meet me. Victoria." Marcus stared at the message. He had not heard from Victoria in 2 months. Not since the lawsuit started. Why did she want to talk now? He texted back. What is this about? The response came quickly. I cannot say over text. Please, it is important. Meet me at the cafe on Market Street tomorrow at noon. Marcus did not want to see Victoria, but something about the message felt serious. He agreed. The next day, Marcus drove to San Francisco. He arrived at the cafe at exactly noon. Victoria sat at a corner table wearing sunglasses even though they were inside. She looked thinner, tired. Marcus sat down across from her. What do you want? Victoria took off her sunglasses. Her eyes were red. I am pregnant. Marcus felt the world stop. What? I am pregnant. The baby is yours. Marcus stared at Victoria. The noise of the cafe disappeared. He could only hear his own heartbeat. That is not possible, Marcus said. Victoria reached into her purse and pulled out a piece of paper. She slid it across the table. It was a pregnancy test. Positive. We were together 1 month before the wedding, Victoria said. You remember. Marcus did remember. It was a mistake. They had argued about wedding plans. Victoria was angry. Marcus was stressed. They drank too much wine at her apartment. He woke up the next morning regretting everything. How far along? Marcus asked. His voice sounded distant. 8 weeks. Marcus put his head in his hands. This could not be happening. Not now. Not when everything with Brianna was starting to work. I need proof, Marcus said. Medical records, doctor's confirmation. I will get them, Victoria said. But Marcus, this is real. I am carrying your baby. If this is true, we need a paternity test. Victoria's face changed. You do not believe me? I believe you are pregnant, but I need scientific proof the baby is mine. Fine. After the baby is born, we can do a test. No, now. There are prenatal paternity tests. We can do one now. Victoria looked uncomfortable. Those tests are invasive. They are dangerous for the baby. They make non-invasive tests now. Just a blood sample from you. No risk to the baby. Victoria was quiet for a moment. I will think about it. You will think about it? Yes. I need to talk to my doctor first. Victoria stood up. I just thought you should know. I am not asking you for anything. I just wanted you to know you are going to be a father again. She walked out of the cafe. Marcus sat alone staring at the positive pregnancy test on the table. His life was falling apart. He drove straight to Brianna's apartment. It was 2 p.m. The twins were at school. Brianna opened the door wearing paint-covered clothes. She had been organizing her photography equipment. Marcus, what are you doing here? Then she saw his face. What happened? Can I come in? Brianna stepped aside. Marcus walked in and sat on the couch. He put his head in his hands. Just tell me, Brianna said. She sat next to him. I met with Victoria today. She says she is pregnant. She says the baby is mine. Brianna felt like she had been punched in the stomach. She could not breathe. The room started spinning. Pregnant, she repeated. We were together 1 month before the wedding. Once. It was a mistake. Brianna stood up. She walked to the window. She could not look at Marcus. So you are going to have a baby with her, Brianna said. Her voice was flat. I do not know if it is mine. I asked for a paternity test. She said she would think about it. Think about it? Brianna turned around. Why would she need to think about it? I do not know. If she is telling the truth, why would she hesitate? Maybe she is scared. Maybe her doctor told her to wait. Brianna laughed, but it sounded broken. You are defending her? No, I am just trying to understand. Get out, Brianna said. What? Get out of my apartment. Get out of our lives. Brianna, please, let me figure this out first. Figure it out? You are going to have a baby with the woman whose wedding you canceled. The woman who is suing me. And you want me to just wait around while you figure it out? I do not even know if the baby is mine. But it might be. And if it is, everything changes. Marcus stood up. He walked toward Brianna, but she stepped back. Do not touch me. I am not leaving you. No matter what happens with Victoria, I am not leaving you or Caleb or Maya. You do not get to make that promise anymore. You are going to have a baby with someone else. You have to be there for that baby, which means you cannot be fully here with us. That is not true. Yes, it is. And I am not doing this. I am not sharing you. I am not watching you split your time between two families. I already did this alone once. I can do it again. Brianna, leave, please. Just leave. Marcus walked to the door. He stopped and turned back. I will get the paternity test. I will prove this baby is not mine. What if it is? Marcus had no answer. He left. Brianna slid down the wall and sat on the floor. She cried until she had no tears left. When Caleb and Maya came home from school, she washed her face and pretended everything was fine. But Maya noticed. Mommy, why are your eyes red? Maya asked. I am just tired, sweetie. Where is Marcus? He always picks us up on Tuesdays. He is busy with work. Over the next week, Marcus called and texted Brianna. She did not answer. He showed up at the apartment. She did not open the door. Caleb and Maya asked about him every day. When is Marcus coming back? Caleb asked. I do not know, Brianna said. Did we do something wrong? Maya's eyes filled with tears. No, baby, you did nothing wrong. Marcus is just dealing with some grown-up problems. Marcus contacted his lawyer about the paternity test. The lawyer contacted Victoria's lawyer. Victoria refused to take the test. Her lawyer said it was too early in the pregnancy. They needed to wait until the baby was born. Marcus's lawyer pushed harder. He explained that non-invasive prenatal paternity tests were safe. They only required a blood sample from the mother. There was no risk to the baby. Victoria's lawyer said his client would consider it and get back to them. 2 weeks passed. Marcus did not see Caleb and Maya. Brianna would not let him near them. He drove by the school just to watch them play at recess. He felt like a stranger again. Finally, Victoria's lawyer called. Victoria agreed to the paternity test. An appointment was scheduled at a medical lab in San Francisco. Marcus would provide a cheek swab. Victoria would provide a blood sample. Results would take 1 week. On the day of the test, Marcus arrived at the lab at 10 in the morning. Victoria arrived 15 minutes late, wearing large sunglasses and a black coat. They did not speak to each other. A technician took Marcus to one room. Another technician took Victoria to another room. The cheek swab took 30 seconds. Marcus rubbed a cotton swab on the inside of his cheek. The technician put it in a sealed tube. Done. Marcus waited in the lobby. Victoria came out 20 minutes later. She walked past him without saying a word. Victoria, Marcus called. She stopped but did not turn around. Why did you wait so long to agree to this test? Marcus asked. Victoria was quiet. Then she said, Because I was scared. Scared of what? Scared you would not believe me even with proof. Then she left. 7 days later, Marcus received a phone call from the lab. The results were ready. He could pick them up or they could email them. Marcus said he would come in person. He needed to see the paper. He needed to hold it in his hands. He drove to the lab. The receptionist handed him a sealed envelope. Marcus sat in his car in the parking lot. His hands shook as he opened it. He read the first line. Alleged father, Marcus Chen. Alleged mother, Victoria Whitmore. Conclusion. Marcus Chen is excluded as the biological father. Probability of paternity, 0%. Marcus read it again. 0%. The baby was not his. Victoria lied. He called Victoria immediately. She did not answer. He called 5 more times. No answer. He texted her. No response. Marcus drove to Victoria's apartment in San Francisco. He knocked on the door. No answer. He knocked louder. Finally, the door opened. Victoria stood there without makeup. Her eyes were red. "You lied," Marcus said. "I can explain." "Explain what? The test says I am not the father. Were you lying about being pregnant too?" Victoria looked down. "I am not pregnant." Marcus felt rage rise in his chest. "You faked this? All of it? I needed you to understand how much you hurt me. So you lied about carrying my child. Do you understand how insane that is? You humiliated me in front of everyone. You destroyed my life. And lying about a pregnancy makes it better. You put me through hell. You put Brianna through hell. For what? Revenge?" Victoria started crying. "I wanted you to feel the pain I felt." "You are sick, Victoria. You need help." Marcus turned to leave. Victoria grabbed his arm. "I am sorry. I know it was wrong. I just did not know what else to do. Stay away from me. Stay away from Brianna and my children. If you contact us again, my lawyer will make sure you regret it." Marcus left. He drove straight to his lawyer's office. He showed him the paternity test results. He told him about Victoria's confession. The lawyer drafted a legal warning. If Victoria Whitmore contacted Marcus Chen, Brianna Foster, or their children again, they would file charges for fraud and harassment. The letter was sent that same day. Marcus drove to Brianna's apartment. It was 6 in the evening. He knocked on the door. Brianna opened it. She looked tired, defeated. "I have the results," Marcus said. He held up the paper. Brianna took it and read. Her eyes scanned the page. When she finished, she looked up at Marcus. "She lied," Brianna whispered. "Yes." "She is not even pregnant?" "No." Brianna's legs gave out. She sat down on the floor right there in the doorway. Marcus knelt next to her. "I am so sorry," Marcus said. "I should have known. I should have demanded the test immediately." "I thought I lost you again," Brianna said through tears. "I thought you were going to have a family with her." "Never. There is no one but you. You and Caleb and Maya." Brianna cried. Marcus held her. They sat on the floor in the doorway for a long time. After they stopped crying, Marcus helped Brianna stand up. They went inside. Caleb and Maya ran from their bedroom. "Marcus!" they shouted together. Both twins hugged him. Marcus knelt down and held them tight. "I missed you two so much." "Where were you?" Maya asked. "You did not come for a long time." "I had some problems to solve. But I am here now, and I am not going anywhere." That night, Marcus stayed for dinner. Brianna made spaghetti. Real spaghetti with tomato sauce and meatballs. They sat at the small kitchen table. Caleb told Marcus about soccer practice. Maya showed him a drawing she made of their family. 4 people holding hands. Marcus stared at the drawing for a long time. "Can I keep this?" he asked Maya. "Yes, I made it for you." After dinner, Marcus helped put the twins to bed. He read them a story about dragons and knights. When they fell asleep, he and Brianna sat on the couch. "What happens now?" Brianna asked. "Victoria's lawyer withdrew the lawsuit. My lawyer made sure of it. You are free." Brianna felt relief wash over her. "Really?" "Yes, it is over." "What about Victoria?" "She will not contact us again. My lawyer sent her a legal warning. If she tries anything, we will press charges." Brianna leaned back on the couch. "I cannot believe she lied about something so serious. She wanted revenge. She wanted me to suffer the way she suffered." "Did it work?" "Yes. Marcus said honestly. "The past 2 weeks were the worst of my life. Worse than when I could not find you 6 years ago. Because this time, I knew exactly what I was losing." Brianna looked at him. "What were you losing?" "You. The twins. My family. My future." "Marcus, I know you are scared to trust me. I know I have to prove myself, but I need you to know something. I love you. I never stopped loving you. And I love Caleb and Maya. They are everything to me." Brianna felt tears coming again. "I love you too. That is what makes this so hard. I love you, but I am terrified." "I know, and I will wait as long as you need." Over the next weeks, Marcus and Brianna started rebuilding. Slowly, carefully. Marcus resumed his visits with the twins. Every Tuesday and Thursday after school. Every Saturday, they did something together as a family. The park, the library, the beach. One Saturday, Marcus had a surprise. "Pack a bag," he told Brianna. "We are going somewhere." "Where?" "You will see." They drove north from Oakland with Caleb and Maya in the back seat. After 90 minutes, Brianna recognized the road. They were driving to Napa Valley, to Chen Estate Vineyard. "Why are we going here?" Brianna asked. Her stomach felt tight. "Trust me," Marcus said. When they arrived, the vineyard was empty. No guests, no wedding, no chaos. Just the four of them. Caleb and Maya ran ahead through the flowers. The sun was bright. The air smelled like grapes and soil. Marcus took Brianna's hand. They walked to the altar where everything fell apart 1 year ago. "I have been thinking about this place," Marcus said. "Everyone thinks it represents the worst day. The day everything went wrong. But I think it represents the day everything went right." "How?" Brianna asked. "This is where I saw my children for the first time. This is where I found you again. This is where my real life began. Yes, it was painful and messy, but it brought me here, to this moment, with you." Marcus let go of her hand. He reached into his pocket. Then he kneeled down on one knee. Brianna's heart stopped. "Marcus, what are you doing?" "I am asking you to marry me." He opened a small box. Inside was a gold ring. Simple and beautiful. Not covered in diamonds. Not extravagant. Just honest. "I know we have been through so much," Marcus said. "I know you have reasons to doubt me. But I promise I will show up every single day for the rest of my life. I will be the partner you deserve. I will be the father Caleb and Maya need. I will choose you, always." Tears ran down Brianna's face. "I do not know what to say." "Say what you feel." Brianna looked at the vineyard. 1 year ago she stood here taking photographs. She was struggling and alone and afraid. Now she stood here with Marcus, the man she loved, the father of her children. Life had been hard, but it brought her here. Caleb and Maya ran back from the flowers. They saw Marcus on his knee. They stopped. "What is happening?" Caleb asked. Marcus looked at the twins. "I am asking your mom to marry me. But I need to ask you two something first. Is it okay if I become your dad forever?" "Forever?" Maya asked. "Yes, forever and ever." Caleb smiled big. "Yes!" Maya jumped up and down. "Yes, yes, yes." Marcus looked back at Brianna. "So what do you say?" Brianna looked at her children. They were so happy, so excited. She looked at Marcus. He was crying. She thought about everything they survived, the pain, the misunderstandings, the fear. But they made it through. "Yes," Brianna said, "I will marry you." Marcus stood up and put the ring on her finger. Caleb and Maya ran to them. They all hugged, a family, finally complete. They spent the rest of the day at the vineyard. They had a picnic. They ran through the flowers. They took pictures. Brianna used her camera to capture everything. These were the moments that mattered. Not the fancy weddings or expensive things, just her family together. On the drive home, the twins fell asleep in the back seat. Marcus held Brianna's hand. She looked at the ring on her finger. It caught the light from the setting sun. "When do you want to get married?" Marcus asked. "Soon. Something small. Just the people we love." "No 300 guests?" Brianna laughed. "Never again." Over the next weeks, they planned the wedding. They decided on a small ceremony in Oakland. 20 people. No vineyard, no expensive flowers. Just a simple community center near the park where Caleb played soccer. Marcus's business was doing well. He worked from home 3 days a week now. He had more time for the family. His business partners adjusted to the new arrangement. They realized Marcus was more focused now, more present. He made better decisions. One afternoon, Marcus's mother, Helen, called. She wanted to meet Caleb and Maya. Marcus was surprised. Helen had refused to acknowledge them for months. "Why now?" Marcus asked. "Because they are my grandchildren, and I have been foolish." Helen came to Marcus's house in Oakland on a Saturday. She wore expensive clothes and jewelry. She looked nervous. Caleb and Maya hid behind Brianna when she arrived. "Hello?" Helen said stiffly. "I am your grandmother." The twins said nothing. Helen sat down on the couch. She did not know how to talk to children. She had not spent much time with Marcus when he was young. She was always working. Maya slowly walked over. She held up a drawing. "I made this." Helen took the drawing. It was a picture of flowers. Simple, but pretty. Helen stared at it for a long time. Then she smiled. It was small, but real. "This is beautiful," Helen said. "May I keep it?" Maya nodded. After that visit, Helen came once a week. She was still formal and awkward, but she was trying. She brought small gifts, books, art supplies. She watched Caleb play soccer. She attended Maya's art show at school. She was becoming a grandmother. Marcus's father, William, met the twins too. William was in a wheelchair now. He could not speak clearly because of his stroke. But when Caleb and Maya walked into his room, tears ran down his face. He tried to say their names. It came out wrong, but they understood. Caleb hugged him carefully. "Hi, Grandpa." William cried more. Marcus stood in the doorway watching. His father spent his whole life building a business empire. But the thing that made him cry was meeting his grandchildren. Meanwhile, Brianna's photography business grew. She had steady clients now, people who did not care about the viral video. People who just wanted good pictures of their families. Marcus offered to invest in her business again. This time, Brianna said yes. They rented a small studio in downtown Oakland. Brianna hired one assistant, a young woman named Sophie who was good with editing. The studio had big windows and white walls. Brianna's name was on the door. Foster Photography. Brianna also moved to a bigger apartment. 3 bedrooms, one for her, one for Caleb, one for Maya. The twins finally had their own rooms. Maya decorated hers with drawings. Caleb put up posters of soccer players and dinosaurs. One afternoon, Brianna's mother, Patricia, drove from Stockton to visit. She had not seen Brianna in over a year. Patricia walked into the new apartment and looked around. "This is nice," Patricia said. "Thank you." They sat at the kitchen table drinking coffee. The twins were at school. The apartment was quiet. "I saw the news," Patricia said, "about the wedding, about Marcus." Everyone saw the news. "Are you happy?" Brianna looked at her mother. "Yes, I am happy. I am sorry I was not there for you when you were pregnant, when you needed help. I was angry and judgmental. That was wrong." Brianna felt emotion rise in her chest. "I needed you, Mom. I was so scared and alone." "I know. I failed you. But I am here now, if you still want me." Brianna reached across the table and held her mother's hand. "I want you here. The twins should know their grandmother." Patricia smiled. Tears ran down her face. "When is the wedding?" 3 months from now. Will you come?" "Of course." Everything was falling into place. 3 months passed quickly. The wedding day arrived on a Saturday in October. The air was cool, but the sun was bright. Brianna woke up at 7 in the morning to Caleb and Maya jumping on her bed. "It is your wedding day!" Maya shouted. "We know, sweetie," Brianna said, pulling them both close. "Are you excited?" "Yes," they said together. Brianna got up and made breakfast. Pancakes with blueberries. The twins ate quickly. They were too excited to sit still. At 9 o'clock, Patricia arrived. She brought a dress she bought for Brianna. Simple and white. Not expensive, but beautiful. "Try it on," Patricia said. Brianna put on the dress. It fit perfectly. She looked at herself in the mirror. She looked different than she did 1 year ago. She looked happy, healthy. The dark circles under her eyes were gone. Her face had color. She was not just surviving anymore. She was living. At 11 o'clock, they drove to the community center. It was a small building near the park where Caleb played soccer. Inside, there were 20 chairs set up in 2 rows. White flowers stood in simple vases. Nothing fancy, nothing expensive, just clean and nice. Marcus arrived at 11:30. He wore a dark gray suit, no tie. He looked nervous. His best man was his business partner, David. Marcus did not have many close friends. He spent most of his life working. The guests started arriving. Dr. Linda Hayes came first. She smiled at Brianna and Marcus. She had helped them so much over the past months. Mrs. Patterson arrived next. She wore a purple dress and walked slowly with her cane. She hugged Brianna. "I am so glad I got sick that day," Mrs. Patterson said. "Look what it brought you." Helen Chen arrived wearing a cream-colored suit. She looked uncomfortable, but she was there. She sat in the front row. William came in his wheelchair. A nurse pushed him. He wore a suit, and his hair was combed neat. When he saw Brianna, he tried to smile. Half his face did not move well, but Brianna could see the kindness in his eyes. Patricia sat on the other side. She looked nervous. This was the first time she met Marcus's family. Helen looked at Patricia. Patricia looked at Helen. They nodded at each other. It was a start. A few of Marcus's business partners came. A few of Brianna's photography clients came. Sophie, Brianna's assistant, came. The head coach from Caleb's soccer team came. 20 people. Small, but full of love. At exactly noon, the ceremony began. Soft music played from a speaker. Maya walked down the aisle first. She wore a yellow dress. She carried a basket of flower petals. She threw them everywhere. Some landed on people's heads. Everyone laughed. Maya giggled. Caleb walked next. He wore a small suit. He carried a pillow with 2 rings tied to it. He walked very seriously, very carefully. He did not want to drop the rings. When he reached the front, he looked at Marcus and smiled. Marcus smiled back. Then Brianna walked down the aisle. Patricia walked next to her. Brianna did not have a father to walk her down, but she had her mother. That was enough. When they reached the front, Patricia kissed Brianna's cheek. Then she sat down. Brianna stood across from Marcus. Caleb and Maya stood between them. This was not a traditional ceremony. This was a family ceremony, all 4 of them together. The officiant was a woman named Carol, who worked at the community center. She smiled at them. "We are here today to celebrate a family," Carol said. "Not just a marriage between 2 people, but the joining of 4 people who have found their way back to each other." Carol looked at Marcus. Do you have vows?" Marcus nodded. He looked at Brianna, then at Caleb and Maya. "Brianna, 6 years ago I lost you. It was the worst mistake of my life, but somehow life gave me a second chance. I promise I will never waste it. I will show up every day. I will be honest even when it is hard. I will choose you and our children above everything else. I will be the partner you deserve." He looked at the twins, Caleb and Maya. "I missed the first 5 years of your lives. I cannot get that time back, but I promise I will be there for everything from now on. Every soccer game, every art show, every bedtime story, every bad dream, every happy moment. I am your father, forever." Brianna was crying. Carol handed her a tissue. Then Carol looked at Brianna. "Your vows?" Brianna wiped her eyes. She looked at Marcus. "Marcus, I was so scared to trust you again. I built walls around my heart to protect myself, but you were patient. You showed up. You proved yourself. You became the man I always knew you could be. I promise to trust you. I promise to let you in. I promise to build this life together. Not just for the kids, but for us." She looked at Caleb and Maya. "You two are my everything. You are the reason I kept going when things were hard. You are the reason I wake up every day. I love you more than all the stars in the sky." Carol smiled. "Caleb, can you bring the rings?" Caleb carefully untied the rings from the pillow. He handed one to Marcus and one to Brianna. Marcus put a ring on Brianna's finger. Brianna put a ring on Marcus's finger. "I now pronounce you married," Carol said. "You may kiss." Marcus and Brianna kissed. Everyone clapped. Caleb and Maya cheered. They were a family now, officially. The reception was in the same room. There was cake and music and dancing. Caleb danced with Brianna. Maya danced with Marcus. Then they all danced together. Helen Chen even danced a little. William watched from his wheelchair with tears on his face. Mrs. Patterson joked with Patricia about their grandchildren. Dr. Hayes told Brianna she was proud of how far they had come. Sophie took pictures of everything. It was simple. It was small. It was perfect. After the reception, Marcus, Brianna, Caleb, and Maya went to Marcus's house in Oakland. Not his house anymore. Their house. Brianna and the twins had officially moved in last week. All their things were there. Caleb's dinosaur books, Maya's art supplies, Brianna's cameras. It finally felt like home. That night, after putting the twins to bed in their own rooms, Marcus and Brianna sat on the back porch. They looked at the stars. Marcus held her hand. "We did it," Brianna said. "Yes, we did." Over the next months, life settled into a rhythm. Marcus worked from home most days. Brianna ran her photography studio. It was thriving now. She had 5 regular clients and more coming every week. She hired a second assistant. Her dream was real. Caleb's soccer team won 3 games. Marcus coached every practice. Maya's art was displayed at a local gallery. A small show for children, but she was so proud. Helen came to both events. She was learning to be a grandmother. 6 months after the wedding, Marcus surprised the family with a trip. They drove to Napa Valley, to Chen Estate Vineyard. Brianna felt nervous at first, but Marcus assured her. "We are making new memories," he said. When they arrived, the vineyard was empty again. Just for them. The sun was setting. The sky was orange and pink. Caleb and Maya ran through the flowers. They were bigger now. Caleb was 6 years old. Maya was 6 years old. They were growing so fast. Marcus and Brianna walked to the altar. They stood in the exact spot where everything changed. "1 year ago, we got married," Marcus said. "But 2 years ago, this is where our journey began again. "I used to think this place was cursed," Brianna said, "but now I think it was a blessing." They watched their children play. Caleb was chasing butterflies. Maya was picking flowers. Their laughter filled the air. "I want to take a picture," Brianna said. She set up her camera on a tripod. She set the timer. Then she and Marcus called the twins over. All four of them stood together. Marcus's arm around Brianna. Caleb and Maya in front. The sunset behind them. The camera clicked. That photo would hang in their living room. A reminder of how far they came. A reminder that broken things can be fixed. Lost things can be found. And love, real love, can survive anything. Brianna looked at Marcus. He looked at her. They did not need to say anything. They both knew. This was happiness. This was home. This was family. Finally, after everything, they were complete. If you enjoyed today's video, I'm sure you'll love the next one. Don't waste time. Just click on the screen